right, good evening, everyone. Welcome back to CGL. Well, we have a losers final matchup in the open tier division of the EU here between Infernal EU and Berlin-Brandenburg Esports. My name is Dextron, and I am joined by Gio. Man, how are you doing tonight?
Well, I've had a bit of a workout today, but I think I'm about to have another one in this matchup because both these teams are at the highest level of this game and this community, both coming in top 24 for an open division. So we're dealing with very high level gameplay here in a losers final, which will decide who will make it to that oh so big grand finals. It's going to be such a match.
Yeah, speaking of the losers finals here, why don't we take a look at the bracket to see how these teams both got here. Now, Brandenburg Esports got here by losing in the winners finals against Gilix Spartan Logo. They're 3-1 there. And actually, Infernal EU was dropped down into the losers bracket by Brandenburg Esports in the second round there. And since then, they've been pretty dominant, haven't dropped a map yet. So they're coming into this one here riding a hot streak, while Berlin-Brandenburg has to try to claw back and rebuild their momentum after losing in that winners final.
Absolutely, like you said, yeah, this is a rubber match. It's a rematch, and it didn't go so well for Infernal before. But like you said, that momentum that they've picked up, every match they have won in this losers bracket is just getting more and more into their way as the locomotive of Infernal EU charges up and just goes past the station. And I mean, Berlin Brandenburg's an airport, but that train can certainly fly for Infernal.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. But while you're talking about Infernal here, why don't we introduce you to Infernal's starting lineup for their matchup tonight? So starting out on their DPS line, you have Nizpuck and Dip. Their tank there is going to be Ego. And their support line is going to be Natsuki and Okuwatse here. Now, Gio, I believe we've seen this team once before. I believe me and you casted this team once before. What do you know about this team here?
Well, they are very good at the current meta of the dive, knowing how to isolate those targets and specifically, to go in deep, to go in nice and strong. They're patient with it. They know their target priority. They're very good at just assassinating whoever they go for. And of course, Dep on the Sombra. Getting those hacks is just one of the key components. It's a very flanky, very divey composition, and they are a very good team at it. And they're up against Brandenburg, however, who, as we know, are a very strong lineup. Also, with Kua and Tricky there as your DPS lineup, Jack coming in for your tank there. And you've got FNG and Pandy on your back line, and these two teams, it's been a free one before, but it was not a very decisive free one. It was a very back and forth free one deck. So these teams are going to really bring it to each other.
Yeah, Berlin-Brandenburg also does have one person waiting in the wings. We might see him throughout the series here tonight. It is Snazzy. They do say they are their second tank here, so maybe different maps, different comps. We might see Snazzy come out instead of Jack here, but we do know where we're going for our first map. We're heading to Greece. That's right. We're heading to Ilios.
Yeah, Ilios is a very mixed bag of maps. You have the Death Pit well all the way to the long sight lines of that ruins. And of course, it's all going to be down to, if someone brings out the Widowmaker in that ruins map, and which hit scan is going to get the better of it, because that's all about controlling those long sight lines of the ruins. And of course, with Lighthouse, you have lots of options where you can go for those traditional dives that is really meta at the moment, where you just go in hard and control those high grounds and set your support line up for success, or more realistically, getting traded out. Or you can go for the more brawl, kind of slow it down and secure yourself on the point.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about potentially seeing, those long sightline characters, a Widowmaker, an Ashe, a Hanzo, a Cassie come out on the ruins. But I really want to focus on to the other two map points of this map. However, looks like we're heading to ruins here to start out. So maybe we're going to be seeing those long sniper battles coming out here.
Absolutely, as they will lock in their rosters. So far, we don't actually see any Widowmaker players. Infernal playing that very meta composition that we've been talking about, that Tracer Sombra, very good at getting into the flanks and hacking up the target. And once the target's hacked, it's extra damage from the Sombra, and that follow-up from the Tracer is going to be lethal. Now, the main difference here is nothing, because it looks like they will be fully swapping. In fact, no, I think Eagle actually is going to come out on this D.Va. Now, D.Va has a lot more close range output, single target damage, so Jack is going to have to be careful how they utilize that cleave and how deep they go in here against Infernal EU.
Yeah, but I see this D.Va pick as one that might come back to bite them, especially with Berlin coming out here with that Sombra. It's an easy target there, and if they get hacked, it just becomes an easy thing to get rid of. But Ego able to find Jack out here early. The hack coming out there on the Pan. You immediately see this buck pick him up, but FNG UK there able to find two on point to keep Berlin in this one. Actually, it's both supports there for Infernal.
Yeah, and that was a quick fight. The reason for that is just the damage output from the composition of Infernal EU is just a little bit higher. Oh, Zep gets caught out at the end, and it's been swapped over. Strange fight here. Sorry, I maybe misunderstood the lethality there of Berlin's counteraction. FNG really being a big savior in that.
Yeah, but right now, Infernal coming back. They're going to play this one slowly. As you see, everyone there for Berlin-Brandenburg on point right now. The hack coming out on the Jack is actually a nice target to go after. However, Infernal's tank gets hacked as well. Like I said, these two tanks here being very large makes them an easy target for the Sombras for each side here. However, each one able to live the hack. Tricky trying to get rid of Natsuki. They're not going to be able to, as they're able to wall ride themselves out there. Okuwase does have their ultimate ready to go here, but the beat coming out here. It's a huge EMP though from Nispuck. Finds all five, pretty much negating the beat that FNG UK just popped out here. Nispuck able to find one. Nasegu though gets traded out. Ego able to eat the pulse bomb from Tricky. Pandy able to find Dip right back on point. For Berlin-Brandenburg able to find the kills they need here. Now they're just trying to clean it up.
Berlin did an absolutely great job there at just kiting away. Once that EMP hit them, they were aware of how much the follow-up could affect them. Now they're in a very solid situation as Pandy was able to hold on to their Kitsune rush. Now Natsuki is going to have the beat for that, but that does open up opportunities in the neutral game.
And I like this aggression coming out here from Berlin. Here comes the Kitsune rush from Pandy. Pandy immediately able to find Okuwase out there, and Infernal basically at this point, either you're going to commit to this fight or fall back and regroup for what is essentially going to be final fight territory for them.
Yeah, the tempo, the pace of play, the position of Brandenburg is just a lot more aggressive and forward facing here, and that is just winning them out these fights.
Yeah, right now, but look at this. Nispuck on point, might be able to reflip it, but they're not going to be able to. Actually, they get hacked out there by Kua. Beat coming out from Natsuki to keep all their team supported, but only hits 3 members there. Eagle still has this bomb ready to go. Here comes a Primal Rage from Jack. This could be huge. However, the bomb finds no one, but it gets the double kill on the re-entry from Ego there. That could turn this fight around, and you do see Infernal cap point there. Pandy, Jack jump off the map. Kua dies there. A bomb that found no value in it, but the remake is where you have to be watching out for.
Yeah, it's silly because like D.Va has so much in her kit that makes her strong right now, and you don't really think as the remake as one of those aspects in terms of being the damage, but Eagle really coming up. Big here, Berlin-Brandenburg are coming up to an EMP very shortly, and Natsuki does not have a beat to interact with.
Dip also used their pulse bomb up there on that high ground, and I think Pandy perfectly timed their Suzu there to make sure that no one fell from it. FNG UK popping that beat right here to keep them alive. Nispuck falls early in this fight. That's not what you want to see. Hack coming out there on the Ego. Like I said, that's the big target they want to focus on. EMP coming out as well. Hits 2 people, and look at that. Everyone for Infernal minus Dip here, falling by the wayside. Berlin-Brandenburg trying to retake the point right now, but Dip doing just enough to contest it. However, point will eventually flip.
Yeah, and that overtime ticker is going to tick away there in our first point, and so far what we can really infer is there is a speed of play coming out from Berlin that's outpacing Infernal. And what Infernal really need to do right now is take a breather and recognize that and really just up their own pace, really just play a lot faster. And I actually think, I was talking about the benefits of the Diva. There are also the downsides, Winston's just such a harder trade hero who goes in much deeper and is a big spike of attack. However, we will be swapping up on the side of Berlin, going for that Diva now, and with a pocketed Echo in the sky. There is very little contention if Kua goes into the sky. They can play nice and aggressive here. All they have to watch out for is Nispuck and their hack.
Yeah, and potentially even maybe Ego going up to try to fight them in the sky, but that might be a little bit of the wrong idea that you would want Ego to be focusing on this Echo in the sky. Jack, though, almost getting demech'd here. Actually, they're going to be able to get demech'd here. A huge start here for Infernal EU as they desperately needed to have something to go their way here at the start of this map. Point about to open here. No one falling just yet. Tricky incredibly low. Jack incredibly low. Jack eventually first one to fall here, and that might force everyone from Berlin-Brandenburg to fall back as Infernal caps the first point.
Yeah, Dex, you actually predicted that fight perfectly when you said that maybe Eagle going for the Echo would be the worst idea. And you see Eagle just completely ignore the Echo Mercy and just go in with their team and get the DMEC onto Jack. Now they're set up nice and perfectly. However, Kua is recognizing how harsh they can play here and how aggressive, but the distraction's not working enough yet.
Yeah, you see Kua here goes straight for the point. Dib gonna come out, contest that point as Ego comes and dives back on. That will allow Berlin-Brandenburg here to get some more members to point as Infernal focuses or unfocused on everyone there. Kua able to find Okawatse out here early. Berlin-Brandenburg here gonna try to recap point here, but the pulse bomb coming out there from Dip on Jack will get them out of their mech. Infernal still does have their Diva in their mech here at the moment, but the kills going the way of Berlin-Brandenburg here at the moment, and Jack able to get Ego out of their mech with a crush there. Oh man, I love to see these plays coming out early.
Yeah, the ego's being tested here in two ways. Yeah, Infernal kind of continued to ignore that echo there, but Kua recognized that if they actually forced the point, then they could really get something done with it. That's why they went there. Lots of ults on the board right now, but Natsuki does not have the beat to counteract this incoming rush.
If you look at that, the EMP comes out, hits two. They already get rid of Pandy. Jack was the other one hit, and they immediately get rid of them here. Kua, though, popping the duplicate into that Diva, so they still have a tank on the field. Pulse Bomb coming out will find Natsuki as the Kasuna Rush comes out here from Infernal. Ego, though, able to get another crush kill onto Kua. Dib able to find Tricky there. This should be a point flip for Infernal.
Now, my eagle eyes had failed me there. Pandy lost their Kitsune Rush there. I don't know if it was the EMP or just cancelled out while casting it, because that was their biggest win condition there while Natsuki did not have the beat. And, well, I mean, you don't need the beat if the Kitsune Rush never comes out. Berlin-Brandenburg are up against it right now, 70% control for Infernal, and they're very low in their arsenal of ultimates right now, only with this bomb, which is going to struggle to get value with.
Good struggle to get value out of it, but that beat coming out early might actually help them. They're actually going to use the bomb incredibly fast here. Not going to be able to find anyone. Hell, I don't really think it found any damage. Okawatsu, though, gets stuff started here, finding Tricky out early. Kua here, trying to find a hack onto anyone they possibly can here. Jack, though, getting DMAC. Dip being the person who causes that with that pulse bomb there. Ego eventually just jumps off the map, but FNG UK there able to take care of them first. Okuwatse and Natsuki, the support lines here for Infernal finding the kills.
Yeah, and this is just cleanup at this point with 99%. Touch is coming in. If Kua can build EMP, however, that's the main way they can turn this around.
Oh, and Tricky pops that pulse bomb onto Natsuki. I actually think they stuck it onto Okawatse, but I think Okawatse teleported away, and the EMP coming out here from Nisbuck finds, I believe, a couple here. They immediately fall, but Berlin-Brandenburg not going to be able to get back to touch the point in time, so we're going to well.
We are, and that fight got very just jointed very quickly for Brandenburg, and it's all down to something I feel like as casters we always forget to mention. It's the ult tracking from Infernal that really won them that fight, because they knew that it was only bomb for the side of Berlin. That was their only ultimate offensively. So Natsuki used that beat as an aggressive ultimate rather than a defensive one. And that aggressive beat allowed their tempo play to really increase for that short period, and destabilize Brandenburg's attack. Moving on to Well, Pandy and FNG have gone for a Brig Zen backline. It can be vulnerable, but of course the glass cannon that is Zenyatta as a bodyguard in FNG, it's going to be all about following up with those Discord targets for the side of Brandenburg.
EU able to get control of that point, of that space right next to the point at the moment. Berlin-Brandenburg here kind of having to play around their choke points at the moment. You see Infernal here trying to just find anyone they can, but Tricky actually able to find Nizpuk out here early. That might be the go button here for Berlin as they finally get on point. They're starting to cap it up here. Dip gonna try to contest it a little bit, but I believe Berlin should be able to cap it first.
Yeah, this Zenyatta really just forces Infernal to play a little slower here. However, Jack has actually lost their mech in this little scrum here, which could go wrong for Berlin.
It could go wrong, but Okuwatse trades out there for FNG UK. However, the mech for Ego is gone. Ego able to find Jack. Dip finds Pandy. Maybe, actually, in all that confusion there, Infernal actually able to cap the point here. I didn't even notice that myself. Tricky, though, does find Ego. They were not as close to their mech as I thought they were.
Yeah, I think maybe the mentality shifted there for Berlin. They thought the fight was over. They just didn't count in how good their opponents could be. Koa here looking for a hack on Natsuki. Very close to this EMP, needing to get control here. 25 for Infernal.
Oh, but a nice pulse bomb coming out there from Dip does get rid of Pandy here. However, Dip now in a little bit of a predicament, able to get themselves out of there with their blinks and their recalls. Natsuki next to fall here, trading out a support for support. Their Jack's mech, though, is gone as the rally comes out from FNG UK here. They find one. They find a second one on this Brig. You love to see it coming out. Jack able to find Ego there. And I believe Jack's not back in their mech yet. Never mind.
Yeah, gonna go for the reset. FNG, a great usage of the rally there, really kept them up in that fight. However, they're gonna find how that's gonna suffer in this next fight where Okuwatse has this Kitsune rush and they're up against EMP, but they do not have Transcendence.
EMP finds 3, immediately gets rid of FNG UK here. Koa next one to fall here. You see Nizpuk, they're trying to hack anyone they absolutely can here. But Infernal looking good to start off this team fight. Bomb coming out here from Jack. Not going to be able to get rid of anyone. Okuwatse, though, going to be able to find Jack's Mac. Dip able to take care of them. Pandy on the way back gets taken care of by Dip, and Infernal retakes the point again.
Yeah, nice and aggressive. I mean, Nizpuk was looking to get Pandy because they weren't sure if Transcendence was available, but obviously at this point they're expecting it to be, but if they did know here, I would love to see Okuwatse just use this rush very early so Pandy has less time to build up the Transcendence.
Oh, the stick onto FNG UK is huge there, but Koa immediately able to trade out Natsuki, so no beat available for Infernal in this team fight, and Berlin-Brandenburg able to flip the point already. Dip able to find Koa out there, but again, Infernal, I don't think they should have let that point be flipped there.
Yeah, it's a tough spot, and they're actually going to invest the Transcendence here. Infernal, maybe a bit of a misstep.
Okuwatse able to find the headshot there on the Jack just before they get re-mech there. And that was a very dangerous play there, as there were a lot of Infernal players around. We've already seen a lot of crush kills already. Just this map, we could have seen a lot more right there. But trades happening each way right now. An eye for an eye, going right back and forth to each other here. However, Infernal able to win the team fight there and get the point back in their control. However, Berlin-Brandenburg already at 99%, so one good team fight win here might win them this map.
Yeah, they got to be really careful with those cheeky point changes. You know, we've seen that a few times right now. Berlin in a very good spot of 99%. However, Dip is a superstar for Infernal. We saw the Pulse Bomb open up last fight. They already have Pulse Bomb.
EMP comes out from Koa, finds absolutely no one to beat, and then Kitsune Rush coming out here from Infernal. Tricky already gone. Jack's mech gone. Almost seeing Koa there fall. They're going to be gone as well. Jack just jumps into the well here to respawn with their team, and a quick team fight win here for Infernal.
Yeah, good early uses of the ults there, and that's exactly what you want to see. Final fight territory, overtime fight coming up here, and for Berlin, they will have this rally and Tricky's pulse bomb, sorry, on the opposing side. Only the bomb here from Infernal, and last time that didn't go well for them.
Rally to get stuff started here. Infernal having to get back to this point right now because they're very far pushed up there. You see Dip get back in time to contest this point. It's just Dip though. The rest of Infernal needs to get back to help out their Tracer. The rally already gone for FNG UK. Look out how close the point is to flipping here. Infernal cannot get off the point or even for a moment. Bomb gonna come out here from Ego. That's gonna force some members of Berlin off. No Crush Co's coming this time, but the Pulse Bomb coming back out on to Ego. They're not gonna be D-Mech there. Nizbook able to find Pandy here, and Jack gets D-Mech right there, but they're able to flip the point because Infernal got off of it there just for a moment. They continue to find the kills, so they're doing everything they need to do to try to get the point back in their control here. They're just trying to get rid of the DPSs right now for Brandenburg right now. They should be able to reflip the point, but Koa's somewhere around. Actually, no, Koa's out, and Infernal EU able to win this first map.
There you have it. I mean, that fight went on for a very long time, but Infernal did a very good job at using Dip to keep touching the point, keep it in their favor, and that's the main reason they were able to really control that map. Here's the play of the game with two of the many crushes we saw coming in from the Diva, which is a theme I hope we continue to see, because it's just funny to see people getting absolutely Goomba stomped out of their mind.
Yeah, no, it's incredibly funny because, you know, as essentially anyone except a tank, you cannot be standing next to a diva as they remech and just getting very aggressive with them. Either you're hoping you kill them before they're able to get back in that mech there, or you're pretty much saying, you know, if I die, I die. I'll just respawn here in 10 seconds. And a lot of the times, you know, that could be the difference, but I don't think it really was the difference in any of these maps. However, they were, like you said, very, very funny. But Infernal, you know, this was a close map. 99 to 99 on that last point. Could have gone either way there. But again, I brought it up a little bit during that final point of, well, they just let Berlin-Brandenburg just take the point freely a couple times. And while they still ended up winning in the end, if they were to have lost that map, you know, I would have been a little bit, I would have been a lot more critical of their playstyle there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's why they got 99%, and a lot of it was just very cheeky, long fight contests that just went through for them. But I think Infernal, someone noticed that on their side, and they became very aware of it for the final fight. And that's why I praised the use of Dip and their tank there to really just keep the point alive and in their control. So, yeah, I think they noticed that. I think they're aware of that, and going forward, we shouldn't see anything. That's the biggest castle curse I've ever given for a possible C9 in a series ever. But I don't think we will see any slip-ups there, because these teams are really fighting to get to that grand finals. And, you know, already Infernal have a point, and in the last time these two teams fought against each other, it was 3-1 to Berlin-Brandenburg. So could this be Infernal looking to just completely turn that on its head? Or is this just the beginning of time repeating itself?
I mean, hey, right now, Berlin-Brandenburg needs to respond here. They're going to pick this next map. We do know what the next map is, and they are bringing us to the imaginary theme park of Blizzard World here. Now, Gio, they're picking this map here for a reason. They had to definitely learn something from the first map of Ilios and their last matchup that lets them know Blizzard World might not work into Infernal's playstyle.
Yeah, so what Brandenburg pulled out there on Well was that Brigida Zen. And yeah, sure, they did not win on Well, but as you said, it was very close. So they're looking to utilize that Zenyatta more here, I imagine. Whether that is the Brig Zen or they go for the riskier but spammier choice of Bap Zen, I think they're looking to use the Zenyatta here and go on those long sightlines. And so far, it's been predominantly Sombra Tracer for the DPS lineup. I think now we can start to see that change a bit, maybe go for those longer range spam characters that get a lot of good use out of that Discord orb and really supply a lot of pressure. Otherwise, on the attack, you know, could very well be the same composition. Sombra is very good at scouting, especially on a map like Blizzard World, where the first point is extremely long and it's all important about seeing where those defenders are set up. So I imagine that Brandenburg, they're looking to bring out something very spammy, very pokey here on their defense, and that's why they've went for this.
Yeah, and I absolutely agree with you here. I honestly though, I don't think we're going to see a lot of the diva here on this one. We saw diva pretty much essentially the
Mhm.
entirety of that first map there. We did see Winston a little bit, but it really only worked out there for uh Berlin-Brandenburg on Ruins. Never really worked out for them towards the other couple maps or the other 2 points because we didn't even see it on well. Lighthouse, they start out with the Winston, but I think immediately swapped over to a diva after one fight there. But Gio,
Mhm.
I wanna pose a question to you for this map. Do you think we see
Yeah.
a ball come out?
Well, it's always on people's minds, right? Coming into a map like Blizzard World, and you think about attacking the long point, and yes, ball gets a lot of value here, and you can really combo it with the same DPS lineup that we've seen, which would continue that synergistic play that we've already seen from the tank line to the DPS. So hacking a particular target, God forbid, putting a Discord onto that target, slamming that target, and following up with a Tracer, like that's
Mhm.
so much damage that, like even if it's the tank, that could be just immediate health to zero. So yeah, that ball possibility that you brought up, absolutely, because that slam combo coming in with that DPS lineup would just continue the synergistic playstyle to a strong degree.
Yeah, but while we're still waiting for the teams to get ready up here, I mean, that was a very close first point there. We could talk about what was the key differences in the end, but honestly, what throughout that entire point there, did you really learn about these two teams here? Because I can learn, like I learned, both of them really good dive teams in my opinion. They really
Hmm.
basically ran the same stuff there. I have to give Berlin Brandenburg a lot of credit. They came out with a different support line there on well, and I was very judgmental of it, and they actually found a lot of success with it.
Yeah, yeah. Obviously, while it's still very close, and both of them played the same comp, the main differences that really won it for Infernal, I think, was their understanding of the ult rotation, or their usage of their ults, was just a little bit better. They were a little quicker with it, and maybe a little bit better at tracking where Berlin was. I talked up Natsuki's use of the beat on Lighthouse for that reason. That's how they were able to win that fight on Lighthouse. Now, Berlin-Brandenburg are teasing to bring out the Widowmaker. Of course, long sightlines, etc. But for Infernal right now, they are going for a very similar composition to Brig with the Anna rather than the Zen. Now, the I I'm not entirely sure what teams have been practicing here, but the difference between the Zen and the Anna, right? The Anna, if you sleep a ball now, doesn't last as long. Like that change just came in. So if you're using that to, control the ball, Anna's a little less effective at it and becomes a little bit more of a massive target. So you really got to protect and go very peel mode for it, and that's why Eagle has kept with the diva that you predicted we wouldn't see. But going for this peely play style, that I think diva's actually a good choice. And yeah, they've realized this on Brandenburg. They're going to go for a little bit more of a poke backline here with the Zen Baptiste Jack on the diva. And of course, you want to get the Discord orb onto the most aggressive players of Infernal or Eagle and just chunk down that.
Yeah, and you saw what Nisbuk did back there. Pretty much kept that attack from going a little bit faster than what probably Berlin wanted to. They're keeping the DP or the support lines fall or way back close to their spawn because of that hack coming out for them was a smart play from them. Already almost a minute gone here, and there's really been no good team fight start yet. You see Berlin here coming up the walkway here. They're diving in on the someone. I imagine it's probably onto either Dip or Nizbuk there. The sleep coming out there from Okawatsu. They're actually able to hit Pandy somehow. The hack, though, coming out here on to Ego. Nizbuk getting incredibly low. Has to recall themselves out of that fight, but Dip trying to pepper in some damage.
And you think Okawatsu would be getting up to Nano as of yet, but right now they're struggling too. They're only at 50%. And meanwhile, that window of the back piece of FMG is really getting up there.
Yeah, but look at this. We already see Berlin have a tick here. Infernal playing is very, very safe. You're not afraid to give up some point capture, but 2 ticks, in my opinion, with everyone around should not be how you want to do it. But the EMP comes out, and they really focus in here onto the support line. Pandy out. FNG UK almost taken out as well. Kua, though, with a nice whip shot there from Natsuki, able to fall as well. And there goes the other support for Berlin and everyone else as well. Infernal giving up 90% though on that point.
Yeah, and you know what? I really like that they did that. They really utilized the percentage there of the entire point as a resource to just give themselves a breather. And that breather got Nispok that EMP that won them the fight. So they really used it well there. Now, of course, that does open opportunity here, especially for Kwa, who has this EMP in the back. And of course, there is no Squirrel to interact.
And look at that, the EP comes out, and you just see Berlin dive on the support lines there for Infernal. Get rid of them right now. Tricky on point right now. Going to be dueled here by Dip, but Dip immediately recalls back, and this might be first point going over to Berlin, and it's going to be.
Yeah, and there is another reason why Ana is a little bit less effective in this composition than Zen, because the Nano can't really help you in that situation, whereas a Transcendence would. Of course, if you had that Transcendence, you play around your Zen and make sure that Zen doesn't get caught out. I think maybe a little bit over-aggression there from the support lineup. On this second point, Infernal are going to want to play nice and quick here. They've got this Nano. I imagine they want to use it very fast to get control here.
Both Divas do have their bombs ready here. Jack getting hacked here. Might get DMAC actually get able to get that large health buff to keep himself alive. Tricky though will find Okuwatse there. Pulse bomb coming out from Dip will not find anyone. Ego having to use their bomb here to get back in their mech. It seems won't be able to find anyone as Pandy did pop that Transcendence to keep everyone supported there for Berlin. And no crush kills coming out there from Ego right there. Tricky though able to find Natsuki out again early, and Inferno just losing numbers here.
Yeah, and in that fight, who died first? Your Ana. I mean, Okuwatse, you know, they're great Ana. We've seen some amazing sleeps already, but it's just such a big target, and already you had to go down.
Again.
Disaster.
Again, this might be just second point given right over to Berlin. They don't want to stagger out in this one, but looks like they're going to come out and contest right now. Rally coming out from Natsuki, EMP coming out from Disbug. Only finds two, but they're immediately able to get rid of Pandy. FNG UK get to pop their damage here, but immediately get taken out by Natsuki right after that. Jack so close to getting DMEC. Will finally get DMEC'd here, but so close to their... Actually, they got up about 50% before they died there. However, Infernal here actually going to be able to win his fight here and kind of stabilize a little bit.
Yeah, finally getting some leeway there, and you really want to set your Hana up in the most winningest conditions as you can, as you could say. You know, a nice far back place where it's really hard for them to follow up on a hack dive. That's why you see Berlin-Brandenburg taking this flank on the right, but they've been caught out.
But look at this, Kua again. Looking for the support lines here for Inferno. They have their eye set on Okuwatse. They have their EMP ready to go, but they're probably waiting for Natsuki to get up close to them right now. And maybe this Diva might be what they're looking for. They dive in there, get the EMP there onto Okuwatse. Tricky does fall, so it's a trade there, but they got who they're looking for. Dip, though, with the double kill with their pulse bomb onto the support line for Berlin. Immediately flips this fight in Infernal's control.
That's the one time you're allowed to double dip. That amazing pulse bomb coming out from the Tracer, and Infernal have themselves a very strong situation. But I've not really talked too much about this Tracer duel so far, and you know, Tricky has been doing well, but I think Dip has just got the better edge of it. Whether, you know, more communicative of when they're taking the duels or when they're going for the pulse bomb, they're doing very well. And again, Brandenburg going for this rotation. So far, Okuwatse very slow to get Nano. Very slow to, very quick to die even. So I think I would have loved to see them swap off of it, but they clearly have a plan here. 50 seconds on the board, Nano at 90%.
I would actually really love to see Jack use this bomb here as an offensive pusher, as something, be the aggressor with it, don't save it for a remake opportunity. But again, I feel like all the Divas have been doing that, but a 5-man EMP coming out here from Nismuk. They're already able to find Ko out. Jack gonna have to use their bomb here to get back in their mech. It won't find anyone. Pulse bomb coming out there from Tricky, finds no one as well. Nispuk able to find them though. Now Ego trying to get back into their mech. Natsuki able to find Jack here. The Transcendence coming out here from Pandy. I don't know if that was the right move by them.
Yeah, obviously they want to try and keep the fight alive. It's 10 seconds. It's very close to an overtime fight, but they're so disjointed.
Dip again. The Transcendence just ended, and they find Kua. Overtime here has commenced. The damage range is coming out from FNG UK, but they won't be able to use it for long. Pandy swapping over to the Lucio now to try to get back to this point as fast as they can. Hugo does have this bomb ready to go. If they drop it on point, it could be the round ender. They're able to get Jack out of their mech here. Pandy might be the last person in line here to try to get back to the point. They're going to be able to do that, but the hack immediately comes out onto them. Natsuki able to find them there. Will anyone else be able to touch the bomb from Ego coming out? But no one will be able to touch. A great hold there for Infernal EU.
Yeah, they really held that well, and it's all about just, getting that counter rotation. And, I spent a lot of that harping on the fact that Ana was a massive target, and the reason they were going for that rotation was to get closer to the Ana, and it's because the D.Va struggles to go cross-map. Where a monkey can fly across beautiful, sprawling skyscrapes, D.Va has a little less range with that. And that's why they went for those long rotations on the right side, but they kept getting caught out. Infernal incredibly good at catching them out, and that's why Dip was getting a lot of the eliminations, a lot of the final blows, because the Tracer is just so good at just punishing a slow rotation, and that's what Berlin did there. Now, on their defense, they are sticking with the D.Va, and again, I imagine that's for a kind of a reason to kind of heal more, a very peely play style from Jack. Now they do have a very spammy backline as well. With that Bap and Zen, it's a little sturdier than the Ana Brig because of the immortality field. So it's going to be harder for Infernal to dive that backline. But with Dip here on the Widow, might not even need to dive.
Watson threw out that sleep dart there. They saw Kua. They're not able to get them there, but they're immediately able to get on through this choke point right now. And they know where Berlin is. They're on that high ground.
Yeah, scouting out there, especially with Nispug. Nice and easy to do. Got out a bit there, but all about controlling this high ground to set up for the dive there onto the back line or onto the point here.
Infernal playing this one a little bit slow here, but again, I kind of like this from them. They've been normally aggressive in the past. They're trying to wait for or bait out Berlin to make the mistake here, and Jack being very aggressive here. No sleep dart again that time for Aquawatsa. Ego here, hack though on point, has to force down Natsuki there to keep them alive. The immortality field actually came out there for Brandenburg there, but again, just each team waiting for the other to make the first mistake.
Yeah, but the longer this goes, the more that nano ramps up for Kovacs. They dive into the back line now, but themselves will keep them up.
FNG UK hacked here as Ego flies away to get some health back into this one here. Already about a minute and 15 seconds gone here for Infernal. The nano coming out here onto Ego. The immortality field already down for Berlin. Pulse bomb coming out from Dip. They're able to find one. What a great start here for them. 3 already down. Koa pops their EMP, but they're immediately taken out by Natsuki there though. Jack able to find one. Close to their own remake, but Dip actually going to be able, actually no, it's Okawatsu going to be able to take them out there.
Yeah, brilliant. The moment they had Nano, that was their goal, but an Eagle went in nice and deep. And of course, once you're a big flashy mech, you're big and blue, you're doing lots of damage, you're a massive distraction. And Dip comes up in the back, it's yet another pulse bomb. And honestly, we should start a pulse bomb counter because Dip is just landing those pulse bombs. It's not an easy thing to do. Very difficult trick shot to land consistently, and they're able to do it. Infernal, they could really keep a good rotation here because they're going to have this EMP for this next fight. And Pandy doesn't quite yet have the Transcendence, so if they go fast here, they can catch them out.
Yeah, but Pandy's getting their ultimate charge up here really fast, so a pulse bomb stick onto them might, be negated by that Transcendence. But again, you have to see what comes out here first. The EMP actually comes out, able to find Tricky there. It forces out the Transcendence here from Pandy. Ego, though, will not be able to use the bomb to get back into their mech here as Nispuk falls there to Pandy. Now the rally coming out from Natsuki. It can stun again, and look at that. It's able to stun Jack out of their mech there. Dip able to find Jack after the fact there. Kua, though, does get the hack there on Natsuki, but again, Infernal just going to be able to continue the push.
Infernal able to completely nullify the Transcendence to save it there, and why? Because of that anti-nade that was very huge. Kua has been slapped up there. Pulse bomb is going to find Natsuki. Final fight here.
Again, this was the same position that Infernal was in on their defensive round. They won one team fight at about this point in the map, and they immediately took control of it on the defensive side. Berlin now needs to do that as well, but Infernal here does have some ultimates, and like I've been saying, I would really love to see one of these divas use their bomb as something to get the fight going. They've mostly been using them as just to get back in their mech, but Okawatse falls there. That's going to just kill some more time here for Infernal.
Now, yes, Infernal are, in terms of where the point is, they are in the same position. In terms of where the goal is, they're in a completely different situation. They know they can save all 5 of their ults and ult dump into one fight and win, and there's not a fight after that. So they can play a little bit patient. They don't care that they're losing some of these fights, especially if they're getting the rally out of FNG like that.
The pulse bomb though coming out there from Dip. Pandy able to find Nizpuck right there. Now Ego getting hacked here. Might get demeched here. They're going to use their bomb to get back in it. No, they're actually just going to accept death there from Jack. So about a minute already ticked off here since they got to the stopping point here. And like you said, they might be holding on to some of these ultimates to try to use them all at once.
Yes, and have used some of them there. Natsuki going onto the brig here. That's definitely to defend the Ana. They want to keep a hold of this Nano. That's why they went for this composition. They want to rotate through here, but of course, look at Kua ready for the EMP. They're waiting for that rotation.
It finds 3 on it. Tricky immediately finds Natsuki out. There goes the other support of Okawatse there. The rest of Infernal trying to get out with their life. Nizpuck not able to escape. Ego and Dip, I imagine, probably were able to escape, and you can see they escaped back to their spawn here, but now a minute and a half here. If you're Infernal, I would start to feel a little concerned at the moment.
Yeah, and hopefully they recognize that, they're getting caught up in the same rotation time and time again. I'd like to see them go to the left here, and that's what they are doing here. EMP the backline.
EMP comes out, it finds 3, but they're not able to get rid of Pandy, who had that Transcendence ready to go and keeps everyone alive. Tricky able to find Natsuki there to keep the fight going here for Berlin, but look at how well Berlin is just forcing Infernal back here. Ego gonna have to rush back to their spawn here to keep themselves alive, but a minute now on the clock. And if you're asking me, I don't feel like holding on to all these ultimates was the right play here for Infernal.
Yeah, and the reason for that is because they're really playing disjointedly. They're not playing as a solid unit, playing very individualistically. They need to get this together. They've been holding Nano for 3 minutes right now. They need to get onto this high ground. They just need to go in right now.
Yeah, but look, this Berlin has no ultimates ready to go at the moment. Kua and FNG UK closest to having them ready to go. And look at the pulse bump from Dip. Might get stuff started here yet again. Their pulse bumps have been huge for them this round. Ego and Melee able to find Panderson. No supports on the field right now for Berlin. No tank either. It's up to this DPS line to try to stall out as long as they can. But Berlin gonna come back in this next fight with essentially nothing.
Yeah, if they can get this EMP, however, that would be the biggest thing. But Kua got slapped.
Got slapped, they immediately fall there. It's up to Tricky. You see Pandy coming back. FNG UK so close to a rally, but here comes the bomb. It's going to be a little bit aggressive. It's going to get blocked out by that shield there from FNG UK. Jack, though, immediately getting demexed here on point. Tricky, though, able to find Natsuki is a huge pick there. They immediately trade out the Brigida on the other side, but no supports now for Infernal. Jack, though, is falling here. So does the mech for Ego. EMP coming out here from, I believe, both Sombras, and Infernal going to be able to complete the map.
Oh, it was getting close there. Both really struggled with the open second point of Blizzard World, but eventually I think someone in Infernal just kind of woke everyone up and said, okay, let's get in there. We need to just get in there. Because they were just struggling with Jhin, struggling to get that rotation. Here's Tricky coming up. We've been talking about death on the Tracer, but Tricky as well came up massive for Brandenburg, and a lot of those fights is one of the biggest reasons why Infernal were struggling for as long as they were, because as soon as they showed they were rotating, the teeth, the claws of the Tracer just get in there. Now, we have a situation, Dex. It is match point. It is 2-0. This could be a clean 3-0 sweep for Infernal.
Yeah, and this would be some revenge. I mean, they're looking for it here. They haven't lost a map since they got knocked down to the Loser Finals bracket. And you have to remember who they were knocked down by. Berlin-Brandenburg Esports, the people that beat them in the second round of the playoffs here, which forced Infernal to start their lower bracket run. And so far, they are 8-0 in maps here, looking to make it 9-0. Berlin-Brandenburg, I have to imagine they're absolutely stunned at this outcome so far. I would imagine they would expect to be at least a tie, maybe even winning at the moment.
And obviously, there could be a few reasons why. Obviously, we don't know the real I've not interviewed the teams, right? I don't know how they prep for this match, but we've talked about the momentum that you can gain in a losers bracket run like Infernal has had. Like you said, not dropped a map in any of their series since being sent down by Berlin. They have lit a fire within them, and they're truly living up to their name now because they are just burning through Berlin-Brandenburg, and Brandenburg are struggling to, keep up with the adaptations of Infernal because it's very close in a lot of these instances because they're both playing very smart. They're catching out those rotations on the likes of Blizzard World, but it was Infernal's decision to go for a different angle, a different varied attack that allowed them to take the map. And that's the sort of thing that's really going to win you in these playoff matches and in a situation where you get to that grand finals. But we're going to take a bit of a break, folks, before we finish this series. This could be a clean sweep, or will Brandenburg begin their comeback? Check back after the break.
right, welcome back, everyone. Here we're in the losers finals here in the open tier for the EU side of this tournament, and right now Infernal EU currently sits on series point against Berlin-Brandenburg Esports, the team that knocked them down in this losers bracket here. Gio, what have you thought of this entire series so far?
Well, I haven't brought it up until now. CGL head office has actually got in contact with me, and they're not happy because my curse seems to be continuing. I have only ever casted a CGL match if it went 3-0. I have not seen another scoreline in CGL ever. And I thought, this obviously, I'm not saying it's going to end in a 3-0, but we're at the precipice of it. And if it does, I think I need to visit someone like a priest or a doctor. Which way should I even go?
Voodoo doctor, voodoo witch doctor. Yeah, right there. But hey, it's not your fault. Right now, I mean, this series has been incredibly close here. Remember, we just saw Infernal win in overtime on Blizzard World. It went to 3 points on Ilios, where that ended 9-9 and 9-9. But we're heading now to Shambali Monastery here. Now, Gio, what do you think of this map pick here for Berlin?
Now, in terms of composition, I don't actually think we're going to see anything change from Blizzard World. And unless, obviously, the Ana was a bit of a, unique play and, it did work out. So perhaps Brandenburg are going to adapt to that. But unless they're going to bring out a Sigma and go heavy more into the spam, which is what I initially predicted for Blizzard World, where I wasn't quite correct. They prefer to play the Diva in a quite peel-oriented way in the defense in a nice dive way. So I think we're probably going to see the same compositions, or we're going to see that footsie little tank come out in Sigma.
Well, speaking of the compositions and potentially seeing a different tank coming out here, Berlin-Brandenburg Esports gonna sub out Jack, bring in Snazzy for the first time this series. Like I said, we might see them at some point this series, maybe for a different kind of tank play they want here. But Snazzy coming in here for Berlin-Brandenburg, this could be their final map of the season here. They're putting a lot of hope that Snazzy coming in is going to be the difference in this map, in my opinion.
Perhaps that's the play. Perhaps Snazzy is their Sigma player. Perhaps, maybe they're going for maybe a left field play. When you're up against a wall, sometimes the conversation does come up. Do we just go with what is comfortable? Do we just throw something at the wall, see if it sticks? So it could be that Snazzy is their Sigma player, or it could be that Snazzy is just going to allow them at least to kind of come in with a fresh perspective, a fresh voice in the tank line, maybe a fresh mind as well. Someone who's been sitting back and watching it unfold, of course, is going to have a different perspective from someone who's been in the battle, in the trenches. So maybe this is the freshness that Brandenburg need, that Berlin-Brandenburg are going to bring out in Sham Valley. Infernal coming out on their defense, and yeah, I was going to say, shocked to see Narissa. Yeah, I'm unshocked to see they immediately swapped off of it. Same composition, you've got that Ana. What that allows is the anti-need against a possible Zenyatta Transcendence. It allows the Nano, which is a very fast building ultimate when there's a lot of damage coming out. So, expect Infernal to play very similar to how they did on Blizzard World defense, being very slow, smart, and just building that EMP, building that Nano, and using whatever comes first. Berlin aren't yet switching off of this. They're on a Zarya, and I don't want to put my foot in my mouth until they walk out of spawn. Okay, yeah, it's just a bubble for the Widow. Okay, right, and they're gonna swap now. Okay, I'm glad I didn't talk about the Zarya now. Going for a very heavy dive. In fact, Genji coming out, Dex. How exciting!
Yeah, I'm gonna be interested to see how this Genji works here, but I think you immediately see Kua here going back to swap into a Torb. A Torb. Immediately getting hacked here by Nisbuck. Gonna be able to keep themselves alive there. Actually, almost take Nisbuck out.
Oh, so the Torb coming out now. Obviously, they're thinking to counteract the Somber hacks. That's the main reason why.
Yeah, but right now you see Snazzy here diving in. Oh, they almost get Dip there, but Dip able to blink themselves out of there. Nizbuk falls low too, but as the fight still happens on this high ground here. Snazzy, though, got knocked to the low ground, tried to run back to their teammates there, but Dip, with help from almost everyone on Infernal, falls.
Yeah, the Torbjorn, I like it as an idea behind, continuing to have a spam character and being able to use that turret to deny, deep hacks from this book, but also it's a very, I almost said, I'll go for it, a rotund character, which, is very good for Tracer to just ping away at and get full spawn and a follow-up.
Nice Suzu coming out there from Pandy, as I believe 4 members were antied there, so they're able to keep them up and supported right now. The fight's still going on here. Berlin, they could be getting some distance on the card right now. Looks like Tricky realized that, but Ego immediately getting that nano as soon as it was ready there from Okuwatse. Able to find Kua out right there, and they're able to find their turret as well.
Yes, so you see how careful Brandenburg are pushing, and it's because they have the monkey rather than Diva. They're scared of the damage that the Diva can output compared to their monkey, but they really need to just go hard with it. Monkey is all about trading, all about going hard, trading backlines, and I'd love to see Berlin just up this tempo, playing at about 7. I want to see 11.
Yeah, Bakua immediately swapping off that Torb, now going back to the Genji that we saw him come out with earlier. EMP coming out here from Dip, immediately finds 2 there. Bakua falls immediately right after that. Kasuna coming out here from Berlin here. They need to try to get something to go their way. They haven't even been able to kill anyone for Infernal yet, and you see them immediately backing up, and they're starting to run out of time here. Only 90 seconds left, but Pandy actually able to find the first pick-off here for them. They're able to find Dip. Now they're just trying to focus on the next target.
They're playing it in quite a brawly way, this composition. It is kind of like a banana rush, what we've seen before. Rally coming up, but that's a huge sleep.
Nap time there for Snazzy, but as they wake up, they're a little bit angry that they were woken up from that nap, popping the Primal Rage out here early, trying to keep everyone for Infernal in that room right there so they can get some distance on this cart right now. But Ego does have this bomb ready to go here, and they're gonna get the nano on it. The beat coming out here from FNG UK to keep everyone support here for Berlin. Hack coming out there on the Pandy as Ego just desperately tries to find anyone with this nano ability. They're able to find Ego or Pandy with it. Are they gonna use the bomb as they fly in? No, they're just gonna try to stick on to Snazzy here. But here comes some more support here from Infernal, and they're able to find more and more kills as Berlin falls back.
Incredible target prioritization from Infernal, but specifically Ego there, who dealt with the dive from the monkey, pushed them back into an uncomfortable position, but then locked eyes with Pandy and took out that Kuriko. Now, it's a bit of panic mode at the last stages here for Berlin-Brandenburg. It's final fight, and they've done some switches here into Ramatra. Going to be very much more a brawly composition on point. Hold on, look at this.
Oh, but it only finds that immortality field. Koa does have their blade ready to go. Almost falls there, gets the hack. This blade has to be huge for them whenever they pop it. They're going to pop it here. Are they going to really just focus on them? No, they find Okawase bomb coming out from Ego here. Almost taken out by that bomb there, but Ego gets another crush kill on FNG UK. They're back, baby. Snazzy, though, able to find Itsuki, and the trades continue to happen, but Infernal finding the picks they need here. Right now, Koa falls. It's really only up. The Tracer are tricky, but they fall as well, and 70 meters will be all that Berlin gets on their push.
Wow, talk about peaking at the right time. Infernal are looking just downright nasty with their gameplay right now. The speed of it, the tempo, and also the understanding of the composition that they're playing. And it is a little bit unique to them. Playing Liana isn't, more a general meta comp. That is a specific to Infernal right now, and it's working absolute wonders. When Snazzy was trying to go for those dives, the peel was perfect, and not all the time being able to do it, counteracted by those Diva boosters from Ego. And right now, not only are you up against a tool, not only is the fact that you have this new tank, you're trying new things, you're throwing at the wall, it's not quite working, but Infernal, they don't even need to complete the first point. They need to just get it round 2 corners. 2 corners, and Infernal have free-owed the team that sent them to the losers bracket. They free-owed a team that could have been predicted to win this bracket entirely, and send themselves to the grand finals. Infernal are coming up massive here. And what a story it would be if they were able to beat Berlin here. What a story it would be if Infernal are the team to make it to the grand final.
Yeah, Berlin coming out with a Rhine is a really interesting pick in my opinion, but they want to try to hold it inside this tee shop right here because they can just contest this cart here forever. And that's basically going to be their plan here, to try to eat away at the clock as much as they can.
Yeah, lots of brawling here and just trying to eat away the clock, like he said. Transition with the Mei, the shield there. But I think Dip on the Pharah is just going to absolutely destroy them here. Already at 50% to Barrage. So much damage being outputted here by Dip.
Yeah, Snazzy almost falling the Immortality Field coming out from Pan to keep them alive here. And like you said, Dip already 70% on the Barrage, 70% on, and 80% actually on that Diva Bomb from Ego here. One good Diva Bomb into this room might just be able to, but here comes Barrage and fight 3, making 4 for Dip. And Infernal here, able to keep it going, and now Ego still has their bomb ready to go.
Oh my god, Infernal raining from the skies. I don't even know if there's a retouch. It's panic mode. Berlin are on all the fast characters. They're trying to get the touch right now. The Lucio's there, the Doom is there, but it's desperate times here for Berlin.
Pat coming out there on Ego. Ego gonna pop the bomb. I've been waiting to see an offensive bomb this entire series, but we'll find no one there. Now Snazzy on this Doomfist trying to find anyone they absolutely can here. Kua, Tricky halfway on their health. And Nano coming out on the Dip here. Ego able to find Tricky. They have their eyes set on anyone they can hit their rockets with here, but they haven't been so successful so far. Snazzy falls. This is looking like the beginning of the end here for Berlin-Brandenburg, and it's gonna be the end for Berlin-Brandenburg as Infernal, after dropping down to the lower bracket, has yet to lose a map. 9 straight in a row for them, and they have locked themselves into the grand finals to face Gillick's Spartan logo.
Hard times breed better men, and Infernal have not only done well in the losers bracket, they have flourished. Look at Dip here. So much devastation. Utter dominance from the player on the DPS lineup, and just overall from the side of Infernal. Congratulations to them. They have sent themselves to the grand finals. And yes, condolences to Berlin-Brandenburg, but also it's worth congratulating because that's third place in the bracket. That's nothing to snuff at. But Infernal, man, they are on the next level of stuff right now. Their story is being written by themselves, and they're making sure it's a good ending for them.
Yeah, and it's even a little bit sweeter when they're able to get some revenge on the team that knocked them down to the losers bracket here. Remember, we've been talking about throughout this entire series, Berlin-Brandenburg Esports beat them in the second round 3-1 to knock them down into this loser bracket. And I brought it up just recently. 9 straight map wins in a row for Infernal. They have yet to lose a map since being knocked into this lower bracket. And Gillick's Spartan logo, I hope they're taking their notes on this team. They are looking like a very, very scary team, in my opinion.
Scary, terrifying. Even the Undertaker himself would be scared of the streak that Infernal are running right now. And, you know, if you're in the grand finals, right, and you're watching this right now, if you are the team that will be facing Infernal, like, yes, you've got scouting on them, but damn, I would start preparing yesterday. Because Infernal are on that, they're on the winning, right? They're in win mode. They're not in training mode, they're not in, like, you know, scrim mode. They are fully in the mindset that they are the team that will win in this bracket. They will complete their arc in the losers bracket. They've made it out of it now. They're in the winners bracket again. They're in the grand final. It's their time to shine, or will their story have a shock?
Yeah, but like you said, grand finals, a winner take all against Gillick's Spartan logo, who has been waiting on the winner of this game here. And I feel like this is going to be a really good matchup here. Gillick's Spartan logo is not a team to scoff at. They've already made it to the grand finals, which lets you know that they are just as good as a team as Infernal EU. But Gio, this was an incredible series. Yes, it ends in a sweep. Yes, your curse is sadly alive and well, apparently. But, you know, there were so many points. Like, it's a 3-0, but it was a close 3-0. The first 2 maps, in my opinion, went 3 points on Ilios, 9-9, 9-9 on that last point. Blizzard World, we almost saw Berlin there hold at the very end, but just some picks coming out from Infernal were the main difference there.
Absolutely. You play this matchup, any other day in a scrim or something, it could be a completely different turnout. But right now, Infernal looking to complete their story. It's an exciting, exciting time in the community. CGL is popping off the playoff season. This season is just insane. And not only is this story, there's stories of all the teams and all the brackets. Absolutely keep a lookout on the announcements channel and always be aware of when there's a stream coming. Especially, you gotta catch the grand finals of this bracket because if Infernal can complete their streak, complete their run here, it'll be almost unprecedented. It will go down in the history books of CGL as maybe one of the best loser bracket runs that we have seen. But alas, that is the end of this broadcast. Thank you, Dex, for casting with me, and thank you for Hippie for producing, and all the wonderful observers. Thank you for watching. Check out the announcements for the next stream, and don't forget to laugh loud and love yourself, folks. Good night.